New Class 4A rankings are here as we get closer and closer to postseason play. Class 4A really proving to be one of the more competitive classes across the board. We've had multiple teams become number one, and I could make a case for multiple other teams being the number one team right now at this point in the year. But nevertheless, we got some big matchups left, some district titles still yet to be determined. Some teams already locked them up, some teams well on their way. Nevertheless, let's get into your 16 through 11 teams in Class 4A, starting with Ballard at 3-3. Really gave number 4 ADM their best test of the year since their loss to Lewis Central. They only lost to ADM 20-13. I was really kind of shocked by that score. I thought it would be a little wider, but props to Ballard for really hanging tough with a title contending team in this class. Again, Ballard coming off a win against North Polk and then almost stunning ADM at their place. So Ballard might be a sneaky team here in Class 4A that people aren't talking about enough, but they sit at number 16 in our IA football rankings at this point in the year. Moving on, Denison, they're 4-2. They beat Storm Lake 41-13. Pella, they're 3-3. They've got the win against Xavier. They beat Des Moines Hoover 54-8 to stay in our top 16. And Indianola lost to North Polk 27-0. They sit at number 13 right now. At number 12, Newton, they really get a nice win against Carlisle. Carlisle, a team that had just kind of gave Gilbert a run for their money, but not this week. Newton really takes it to them and wins that one by 30+. And Norwalk, they beat Council Bluffs Thomas Jefferson 62-6 to round up our 16 through 11 little group right here. Moving on to the top 10. Not a ton of movement here. Gilbert, I know people are calling that an upset, Bondurant beating Gilbert because Gilbert was undefeated at number one in the RPI. I'm here to tell you that was not an upset. I think a lot of people knew Bondurant was the team in that game to lose that. Gilbert 6-0, just really they don't just have that staple win yet that you're looking for. And they've played a ton of close games. Props to them for being 6-1 at this point in the year, but Bondurant Farrar is one of, if not the favorites to win Class 4A right now. So that's not a bad loss for Gilbert. They're going to hang out here at number 10 where they've kind of been the last month or so. Gilbert still looking to wrap up a runner-up spot in that district and secure a playoff spot. Still a few tough games left on the board for them. Lamar's at 5-1 again. They probably have one of the easier districts in Class 4A. They're well on their way to winning that one. They're at number 9 right now. Sorry, they're 6-1. That record is wrong right there. But moving on to number 8, North Polk, the team of the week in Class 4A. They finished the year with Boone and ADM, which is huge. Again, they're coming off a win against Indianola. Braden Foster leads the team with 58 tackles and 12.5 tackles for loss this season. So North Polk, kind of a weird up and down year for them. They have the win over Bondurant Farrar. They've got losses to some teams you wouldn't expect, like Ballard. So kind of a team that's all over the place, but nevertheless the team I wouldn't want to play in North Polk. So they're going to get a chance still in a few final weeks to make some noise and ratchet up their stock before the playoffs begin. At number 7, Glenwood, they finished the year with TJ and Norwalk. Norwalk will be a tough fight for second place again. Lewis Central is basically all but wrapped that one up. They've been led by Brody Schaefer on defense. He has 35.5 tackles for the Rams. At number 6, North Scott, they finished the year with Clinton and Oskaloosa. They have been led by Nolan Engelbrecht on defense. He has 40 tackles on the season. North Scott coming off kind of a squeak-by win over Clear Creek Amana. I don't believe Kyler Girardi played in that game. Again, I was at the game where he went down. It didn't look great. We're hoping the best for him, hoping he gets a speedy recovery there. But they won that game against Clear Creek Amana 16-14, I believe, if it was off the top of my head. So they're going to look to kind of get some momentum back in the final few weeks before the postseason plays and hoping Kyler recovers quickly and healthy. But nevertheless, let's get into your top 5, where all 5 teams have kind of proven themselves as the next tier up at this point. Xavier 4-2. They got CCA and Burlington remaining. They're well on their way to earning a district title at this point. Grant Helmy has led the defense this season with 32 tackles. They play Xavier football. They're tough to beat, and they're not going to beat themselves hardly ever. So they're going to look to wrap up a district title because they do have that huge win over North Scott. At number 4, ADM, Indianola, and North Polk remaining. Drew Obstrzik leads the team with 43 tackles this season. ADM coming off a tight win over Ballard, and they still got a few very quality opponents left before they can wrap up their district title. That one against North Polk might be one you can circle on your calendar in week 9. So that one's going to determine a lot as far as seeding goes. At number 4, Lewis Central, 4-2 or 5-2. Sorry, Norwalk and DCG left. Owen Thomas, he's a stud. He leads the team with 40.5 tackles this season. Lewis Central again 5-2 on the year. At number 2, Bondurant Farrar. Really, they had the biggest win of the week last week. They got against Over Gilbert, then undefeated and number 1 in the RPI. Pella and Carlisle left, two no slouches there. They've been led by Titus Cram on both sides of the ball. He has 47 tackles and almost 1,200 yards rushing this season, 1,119 to be exact. He is a handful to stop on both sides of the ball, and any team that draws them in the postseason should be worried, because it looks like their district and their postseason is going to run through Bondurant Farrar, and that's not an easy place to go and get a win at. So Bondurant Farrar, your number 2 team. Could have made a case for them being number 1 after their quality win, but right now it's just Western Dubuque's to lose. They've been looking good, and they've got Decorah and Mason City left. So looking to pick up 2 wins there. Decorah is not a scrappy team, or Decorah is no pushover by any means. They've been led by Derek Honer on defense this season, who has 37 tackles on the year. And again, they've kind of earned that spot at number 1, and we're kind of waiting. And I think it's theirs until they slip up, or until they play a close game where they really shouldn't. But right now, Western Dubuque, they've kind of handled and taken on the number 1 team in Class 4A and done a good job at hanging on to it. So that's all we've got for Class 4A. Again, a few big games this week, but really not a ton of movement this week in the polls. So we're going to look to see if anything happens next week. Be sure to subscribe to IE Sports so you can figure out if it does. We got a ton of content coming over with postseason stuff, so be sure to follow us on socials and all that good stuff. So Class 4A fans, I'll catch you guys next week for the final regular season rankings.